So my name is Allison Perlman. I'm an associate professor in history and film and media studies at the University of California, Irvine. I teach classes in 20th century US history, the history of broadcasting, US political and cultural history, and TV studies more broadly. My research in the past has focused on the history of media policy and law, and especially in the interaction between a range of social movements and policymakers over visions of how media should operate in American public life. I'm currently working on a book-length project on the prehistory of public television and doing a side project that I'm very excited about on Jesse Jackson's presidential campaigns in 1984 and 1988. C-SPAN archives are capacious. There are just tremendous numbers of materials on the primaries, and so I'm mostly focusing on a series of call-in shows where C-SPAN viewers could ask campaign surrogates about policy prescriptions of particular candidates, local debates, and then full campaign speeches. And I'm interested in this topic for a couple of reasons. When scholars have looked at the Jackson campaign, media coverage has been very central to how they've assessed both why the press was interested in Jesse Jackson, but also why he was often perceived as not a credible or a viable contender for the Democratic nomination. And so part of what I'm hoping to do with the C-SPAN materials is to potentially nuance or better understand commercial press coverage of the Democratic primaries. But I'm also really interested in trying to understand what voters would have known about the primaries if C-SPAN had been their central source of political information. So how would our understanding of the role of the media in the 1984 and 88 primaries shift if we put C-SPAN at the center and really tried to make sense of what were voters learning if they weren't just watching ABC, but they also were heavily focused on viewing C-SPAN materials. But my hope is by studying the 1980s and really digging into that battle, and especially the framing of that battle, it might help us to see the way that the patterns that were set then are being replicated or maybe disrupted by contemporary interest in some of these intra-party tensions within the Democrats.